If I could ask you very quickly about that raid that took place in eastern Syria, just because John Kirby didn't get to it. Has the president been briefed on the circumstances? Has he had any conversations with those who were wounded? Any more detail about his relationship to that event?
So the president has been briefed. I don't have anything more to what John Kirby just laid out. I would refer you to the Department of Defense on any specifics on who's been wounded or any details, other details outside of what John Kirby laid out, but don't have anything else.
Did the president sign off on that raid? Obviously, it was successful, as the DoD or the CENTCOM reported. Was the president a part of the decision-making before it took place?
Again, I don't want to get into too much of specifics on this, but when it comes to situations like this, of course, the president is closely involved.
Then can I ask you about the First Lady was supposed to travel to Indiana today. She didn't go because her office says that she's not feeling very well. Can you give us any better?
Yeah,
it's not COVID. Is she okay? What's the going
I can
on?
say from here that it's not COVID. She is under the weather, and I'll leave it there. But is recuperating.
Cold,
I'm not her doctor, so I'm not going to go into specifics on what it is. But I can say that she is indeed under the weather. It is not COVID, and her trip to Indiana that was supposed to happen today will be rescheduled at a later date. And I'll leave it there.
Okay. Obviously, we hope she gets well soon. The last question
yes, we should.
is about Rick Scott. As you saw, he edited his policy plan on sunsetting federal programs after 5 years to say it now exempts Social Security and Medicare. He says to the president, to Democratic and Republican leaders, that it was never intended to refer to Social Security and Medicare. And the White House is viewed as that end this conversation. Is the discussion over this issue done?
What do you think? So I thought you would ask this question, so I have a couple of things to say to the senator. So I'll first say this, that the president congratulates Senator Scott on joining the post-State of the Union red wave, as we have seen from Republicans, acknowledging that they are, in fact, been attempting to put Medicare and Social Security on the chopping block, because that's what they are actually saying, that they were indeed attempting to do that. So for the past year, and we have the facts, the past year he has explained the absence of an exception by saying, if it's worth keeping, we're going to keep it. But make no mistake, his true colors are undeniable and on the record. They have been speaking at both sides of their mouths here. That's what Republicans in the Senate and Congress more broadly have been doing. Cutting Medicaid and Social Security benefits is a long-standing passion of Senator Scott's, as it is for a majority of the House Republicans who comprise the Republican Study Committee and many of his Senate colleagues, ranging from John Thune and to Ron Johnson. And so, for example, in 1990s, Senator Scott supported fully privatizing Medicare, and let's not forget, just weeks ago, they all said and were saying that they wanted to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. By doing that, you certainly it would be one of the biggest cut to Medicare benefits if you were to do that. And let's not forget, the Inflation Reduction Act actually cuts down the deficit by $200 billion. So we thank Senator Scott for continuing to share his heart with the world. And we, with that, I'll just leave it there.